And joining us to help us understand this and put into more context, we have with us Ambassador Manjeev Singh Puri, former senior diplomat. Thank you, sir, for being with us. How will Prime Minister Modi's visit to the UK shape India-UK ties in the post-Brexit, global supply chain shift context?
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying this is a very important visit because something very important is underway in the context of India-UK relations. I heard the Foreign Secretary explaining the depth and the width of the India-UK ties very much there. But there is a kind of change, a mood change in the global scenario. Let's say that Mr. Donald Trump, President Trump, is perhaps the reason for that. For many years, we have been negotiating with the UK. Indeed, we are negotiating with the EU to try and take these trade deals forward. I am quite happy, even if I'm willing to concede that President Trump and his idea of global trade and how it should be regulated has pushed us and has pushed the UK in the direction of taking this forward. Look, we have bilateral ties, huge ties, people's ties, lots going. What these comprehensive economic partnerships, the trade deals, etc., do is they signal to the world that these two large economies in the world are finding ways to ease doing business, to ease doing trade, and are working towards win-win situation for themselves and, of course, let me say, for the global order as such. So a particularly important visit. You mentioned Brexit, that's a long time back, Mark. But in the scenario that we are facing today, this is an important visit. It will result in an important agreement coming onto the table, not just important for India, important for the UK, and also in terms of signaling to the world that, look, countries are, and important countries are looking around at alternatives and are making major efforts to our benefits.
Indeed, Ambassador Puri, also Prime Minister's meeting with King Charles. What diplomatic weight does it carry? And, in the symbolic sense, and also in promoting cultural ties between the two countries?
Well, it carries a lot. I mean, whether we like it or not, Britain is a monarchy. And who remembers who were all the prime ministers before? And everybody remembers the Queen and now the King. That's the nature of Britain, the way it is structured. King Charles, I must say, is also very, very strong on the entire area of the environment. He was the only person, he was the first person to address the Dubai COP in November 2023. So, there's a lot to discuss with him on substance, not just the symbolic side, the question of keeping the India-US ties, UK ties up on a high anvil. Not only that, there is the issues of cultural ties. The Queen is very interested in Ayurveda, in naturopathy, regularly comes to Bangalore. So there's a lot on that too. In substance, I believe that there will be much that they can speak in terms of environment, sustainability, climate. Prime Minister Modi has taken the lead in the global south for India being in the lead and all that. This sits well with King Charles and his ideas. And you see, this is again an area where India and UK can cooperate, can do things which have a signaling impact, not only for their own economies in their own countries, but for the world at large.
Uh, Ambassador Puri, also, what new areas are likely in the comprehensive strategic partnership to address, the shared concerns, or let's say the initiatives in tech, defense, innovation priorities, because the world has changed. I mean, it's critical tech age. It's the AI age.
You're absolutely right. And let's be very clear. One of the things that interests India always is, can we have a system by which we can ease the movement of technical and skilled people? Now, this is not an easy issue. You are aware that the UK is going through a major political business in terms of migrants and so on. And so while we can talk in terms of all of this, there are domestic political compulsions. But these trade and economic agreements, they provide segues for these particular things happening and various movements on that particular thing. Secondly, let's not forget, for all that we talk about Europe, the UK, etc., kind of slipping in global rankings, they remain a major tech hub. London, by far, one of the two largest, most important economic hubs. I think the foreign secretary was telling you the kind of Indian investments there. It isn't for nothing that rich Indians are parking themselves in London, or even sports personalities and Bollywood stars are going there. London provides an opportunity for doing business essentially with India, and helps them magnify all of this. So there's a lot. And in fact, I believe that the UK, Oxford, Cambridge, London, etc., are great hubs of innovation. Let's not forget the great vaccine that we were talking about during
Yes.
COVID, what we used to call
Covishield, yes.
Covishield, absolutely, is AstraZeneca, produced in the UK.
Right.
So let's see. There are great opportunities, and there's the complementarities which get matched.
Uh, Ambassador Puri, moving to Maldives, Prime Minister is going to be the guest of honor on the 60th Independence Day of Maldives. How does, PM Modi's presence sort of advance India's strategic maritime agenda? We have a vision, Mahasagar, and there is also this concern that in this area there should be, the Chinese influence is sort of, is India the counterbalance in a sense?
Mark, I would have liked it to be the other way around.
Yeah.
India should be the balance, and let those guys try to be the counterbalance. And I hope that's still the case. Look, the fact that President Moizu, with whom we started off with a bit of a rocky relationship, then he came to India, and we know that he does have relations with the Chinese, and we are aware of that. But that for this very significant 60th anniversary of their independence, he's invited our Prime Minister. Let's understand that they also understand that for all that they are trying to, broaden their menu of options, India is by far the most important element on that. They recognize it, and I'm glad that we are reciprocating, because this is in our neighborhood, not extended neighborhood, in our immediate neighborhood. Let me say that they are also members of SAARC, something that we tend to forget. They are immediately right there with us. It's the easiest flights to catch. There is tourism. There's so much more. And there is the entire strategic business. After all, the oceans are important. The Indian Ocean is mightily important in various ways. We have strategic interests, Mahasagar, mining in the deep seas, all sorts of things. So I personally believe that this is a visit which will be very important. It helps keep the relationship not just on even keel, but strengthens the relationship, helps build strategic relations and take them to even greater heights. And the best part is the Maldivians recognizing India as their most important strategic partner by inviting our Prime Minister for their 60th independence anniversary.
Indeed, and in the context of the Indian Ocean region, what sort of real-time progress can we expect from the India-Maldives Economic and Maritime Security Partnership? They were looking at new areas, and several of the areas are likely to be, sort of new areas that they are looking at in the maritime space.
So, Mark, there's absolutely no doubt. Look, with AI and so on, can we say that the maritime space is a forgotten area of innovation for the future? Not at all. And let's not forget the geopolitical importance of the Indian Ocean. We are all very much taken in by the Indo-Pacific, but let's not forget the Indian Ocean west of India, equally important to the world and where it's going. Maldives is strategically located. A good, strong bilateral relationship with Maldives adds to our security interests. And on the economic side, look, they are a great tourist destination. They are a country with which we have so many other sets of ties. Cooperation in terms of research in the oceans, both of us can benefit as a result. When you look at this entire gamut of things, there is so much which can happen. As the world develops its technological edge, cooperation in all these areas, which otherwise in the other times appeared very daunting and difficult to think, is now opening up, and something that needs to be done. It's not just strategic interests. There are solid, massive economic interests, even though Maldives is a small country. By
Right.
far the richest country in the SAARC region. I think Bhutan is number 2. So, these are the opportunities which are.
Okay, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Ambassador Manjeev Singh Puri. Thank you very much for joining us and putting into context the expectations of the Prime Minister's visit to the UK and the Maldives. The Prime Minister will be leaving tomorrow. Thank you very much for being with us.